Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today we're switching things up from my usual gameplay videos and I'm excited to share my favorite character configuration settings for new players in Final Fantasy XIV. As someone who is still very much a beginner myself, I've found these settings incredibly useful for making the game more enjoyable and less overwhelming. I hope this list helps other new players as much as it has helped me. So let's dive in. By the way, all these settings today are options that can be found within the character configuration menu, which you can access by navigating to the system icon on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, or by pressing the escape key and then selecting character configuration from the menu choices. To kick things off, one of the most crucial aspects of Final Fantasy XIV is managing your skills effectively. So our first tip is how to make an easy-to-read recast timer. With this change, there is no more guessing on how many seconds you have left for a skill to be off of cooldown. To make this adjustment for a smoother, more immersive gameplay experience, you need to go to the hotbar settings section within the character configuration menu, and then select the display submenu. As you can see, the option to change the cooldown timer is the first item listed. What you want to do is make sure the box is checked, but then to also change the drop-down to Type 2, centered. This will not only center the timer, but it will make it much larger and easier to find and to read. Now let's talk about a quick and easy way to improve your combat awareness. Being able to see your target's remaining HP as a percentage value will give you much better insight into how much damage you've dealt and how much more you need to do to defeat your foe. Unfortunately, this is not a setting that is automatically turned on when you start the game, so you want to make sure that you get this box checked. In the character configuration menu, go to the UI settings on the left-hand side and then select the HUD tab. You will need to scroll down a bit to the targets section, but the last item in that list is to display the target's remaining HP percentage. This is the box you want to make sure you have checked. The next tip I have for you is how to customize which error messages you see. While it's important to know when your actions fail, you might not want to see constant error messages or altitude messages once flying is unlocked. The good news is that you can pick and choose which messages you want to keep and which to hide, allowing you to stay focused on the action without these unnecessary distractions. To select which error messages you want to see, in the character configuration menu, go to the log window settings, then to the General tab. You'll see towards the top of the list the three types of error messages. Display error messages when actions fail. I typically have this one turned on because I'd like to know why something failed, such as whether I'm too far away or if something happened with an action. Display recast timer error messages. Personally, I turn this one off because, well, I have a habit of spamming my next skill about 1,000 times while waiting for that very last second on the recast timer, and I really don't want to see an error message every single time. Display altitude error messages. I have this one turned off as well. When flying, the game will just limit your height, and I don't think there's really a need for an error message here. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel to see more of my playthroughs, tips, tricks, and streams. This next tip I have has to do with targeting, specifically the tab targeting system. If you check the forums, you will realize that this system is notoriously lacking. Now, everyone's going to have their own preferences, and you're going to have to play around here to see what you like. But these are the few settings that I use to make it a little bit better. To find the targeting settings, go to the character configuration menu, then select the control settings section, followed by the target tab at the top of the screen. In this section, I changed the following settings. First, I changed the target type to Type 2 cone. I found that this setting kept my target in front of me and not in some weird random location. With the cone settings, tabbing will go from left to right, closest to farthest away. Next, I limited ring movement to my attack range, and this is specifically for AoE abilities. I like this setting because if I have to do a ground-targeted AoE, this setting will limit me to what the range of the skill is, versus guessing and possibly getting another error message. After that, I chose to disable the targeting of pets and minions when in battle. And finally, I turned off the auto-targeting setting. This one might be a bit controversial, but I found that after I was done with an enemy, I would automatically start attacking things that I did not want. Turning off auto-target fixed this for me, and now I have to press tab to target my next enemy. While it's an extra key movement, I find that I no longer accidentally hit something that I did not mean to when I'm spamming my skills. Ever log into a crowded city and wonder how to minimize all of the player and minion names so that you can enjoy the scenery without all of the clutter? Our next tip will show you just how to do that. Within the Character Configuration menu, head over to the Display Name Settings tab. Here, you can set preferences on what exactly you want to see and what you would like to hide. Obviously, you can feel free to choose whatever settings you want here, but these are the settings that I prefer and currently have set up. Under the Own tab, I have my display name setting set to Never, and my pets to only display when I target them. Under the Others tab, I have the following settings. For party members and for friends, I have the display name settings set to Always. For Alliance members and other PCs, I have the display name settings set to the When Targeted option. I also have the pet display name settings for all of the groups set to the When Targeted option as well. So, I did not realize I needed to change this setting until after I attended my first open world special event within Final Fantasy XIV. My screen suddenly turned into one huge light show, and it was hard to see anything amongst all the chaos. Of course, I'm talking about the battle effects settings, and for this tip, I wanted to show you how to turn down the battle effects so you don't run into the same issue that I did. Under the Character Configuration menu, head over to the General Settings section and then to the Character tab. You should see the battle effects settings. Here you can select Show All, Show Limited, or Show None for various groups of players. For me, the settings I now currently have are Show All for me and for my party, and then Show Limited for everyone else. And while these may change for me in the future, right now I feel this provides a good balance between seeing what the important effects are and various spell spam. The next tip I have will show you how to remove the multiple tabs from your inventory screen, allowing for easier viewing and better organization. From the Character Configuration menu, go to Item Settings. The inventory settings should be at the top of the General section. Under Inventory Interface, you will want to select Open All from the drop-down menu. If you'd like, you can also select the Expanded option in the Retainer Inventory Interface to do this for your retainer storage as well. Now, if you've been around my channel, you know that I love piecing together the lore and stories within the games that I play. However, if I'm farming dungeons or trials for levels, I don't want to see the same cutscenes again and again and again. So, luckily, there is a setting to auto-skip previously viewed cutscenes. To turn this feature on, go to the Control Settings tab within the Character Configuration menu. Then, under the General tab, you will find the cutscene options. Here, you can select the options that appeal to you. For me, I chose to skip the playback of previously viewed scenario cutscenes and to skip the playback of previously viewed transportation cutscenes. Did you know that you can add your local time, server time, and Eorzea time to the game? This setting is great for someone like me who often loses track of time while playing the game. Or it can also be great for coordinating meetups or events within the game. To add your local time, simply go to the UI Settings tab within the Character Configuration menu. From here, click on the HUD tab and you'll see a section labeled Clock Type. For me, I currently like to have both the boxes for local time and Eorzea time selected. However, if you have many friends across some different time zones and coordination of events is becoming difficult, you might want to consider adding server time and setting up your events using this common time clock. My last setting I have for you is definitely more on the fun side. Of course, I'm talking about idle poses. These are random poses or animations your character will do after so many seconds of standing still, bringing both life and movement to your character. After all, nobody stands completely still like a board all of the time, at least not normally. To activate the idle poses as well as set how many seconds it takes for them to begin, go to the Control Settings tab in the Character Configuration menu and select the Character tab. In there, you should see the Idle Animation Display section. For me, I set my animation delay to 3 seconds because I thought the default of 5 was a bit too long. Feel free to set this to whatever value you feel is natural for you. I also selected the Randomize Idle Animation button. That way my character doesn't go into the same pose all of the time. My last setting in this menu is Effects while in motion. This is the hair and outfit swaying and moving as you move. I kept this at the default of Show All, but I wanted to mention what it was because I personally had to look it up to see what this section did as well. And there you have it, my top 10 character settings for new players starting out in Final Fantasy XIV. Is there a favorite setting you have that I missed? Please share it with us in the comments down below. Also, if you'd like to follow my Sprout journey through Final Fantasy, I've linked the start of that series here. As always, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Hope to see you soon. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more content as it greatly helps out my channel. Hope to see you soon.